The lid. The lid is on fire.
It's the time it stops, man. It's the time it stops. That's the fun.
I know, right?
Like the best moment.
You want to test that chat works on your computer?
I haven't seen it.
Are you logged into the OneLeaf account?
No, I'm logging in.
Wait, is this unlisted by any chance?
No, it's public.
Okay.
Can you back out, please?
Yeah, that'll give us a new key, though.
No, show us.
Public.
Share. Just share it.
Get the URL again.
It might take some time to...
Just share the link on Discord. That's this time.
Oh, no, it's live now. I see it. Very cool. I like this. Hello?
Are we going to need to put the key in again? No? Is it going to let us? Hey, there we go. Cool.
Cool. Is that all our information? Holy crap.
Hey.
Hello, world.
Oh, it works.
Perfect. All right, everything looks like it's set up.
Yeah. 3 concurrent viewers. Who's a thirst? Yeah.
My phone, this computer, and Zach's computer.
It's like, does it actually count that as a stream? No.
I watched
Apparently.
it. You know, I wonder.
Oh, it's on
No, I
live
watched
here.
it from that like specific link. Looking for a non-squeaky chair. Just
don't move, dude.
Just like quit breathing, you know. He'll stop making noise real quick.
Like the one day that he's the one day he's a back pain as well. It's like
I know. It's like the worst.
We're just gonna scoot up the couch.
We can move the table maybe instead.
You can just... Oh.
Yeah, that works.
Oh, thanks, guys. I randomly tweaked my back after the end of the workday.
Just walking back on the desk and be like, oh crap, that does not sound
I had a bad walk. It was probably foosball, man.
It's
It's
like,
like
somebody just tapped on a plastic bottle. No, that's just Zach's back, I guess.
Squeak!
oh, hey, look, we got Will.
Y'all
On the
are
chat.
live.
Alright, awesome.
Alrighty, we'll quit screwing around and get to it. Alrighty, so we got a little agenda for you guys. Can I control? Ooh, notepad. Spicy.
Dude, notepad features, man.
Alrighty, so we'll go ahead and start off with some intros. The 3 founders of OneLeaf are actually here today. Everybody had some time. So we'll start off with just some brief intros about our experience. I'm Sabian. I'm an augmented reality game developer. I've recently gotten into web and iOS development. We're trying to, or my personal goal is to help OneLeaf as much as possible and grow it so that we can have a good dedicated community. So that way, if anybody has any questions or feels like they need some mentorship, we'd be the perfect place to go.
Yeah, I'm Zach. I've been doing iOS for 5 to 6 years now, professionally. So, just falling with Swift. I mean,
It's your specialty.
that's pretty much it. I mean,
Hey man, you're dedicated.
yeah, no.
Good stuff all around. My name is Parshav. I'm an Android developer, and I guess for OneLeaf I've been focusing around open source. Open source contributions, open source practices in general. But yeah, that's my main focus here, I guess. So
Yeah.
which is a core part of our group as well, I hope.
Yeah, yeah.
Huh,
All
weird.
right.
It's almost like it's in our slogan. OneLeaf, an open source development group. Alrighty, so we'll go ahead and go over our stream schedule. We plan to meet every Thursday, as schedules provide. Meet at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. If we can't make that, we will let the Discord know. Otherwise, assume that we will be live at that time. We did start a little early today because we happen to have some free time, so in the future that may happen again. But we will be streaming at 7 no matter what. Okay, so we'll go ahead and go to the OneLeaf website as it currently stands. Right now it's just a GitHub page. We do have a custom website in the works, but this is a project that I'd like to see us start here soon. Just for those of you that may be still a little bit confused about what OneLeaf is, or for those of you that aren't even in OneLeaf that somehow found this video, shout out to you guys. OneLeaf is a community of developers that they really want to be the best and they want to have fun while doing it. A lot of the motivation for this came from when Zach Parshav and I were in college. We found that when we worked together, we'd learn a lot quicker because we happened to find different knowledge that we didn't have previously. And we kind of wanted to be able to share that experience with a lot of people that we noticed at college didn't have that same experience, and they may have felt behind. Or we even found people that were much better than we were, and it turned out to be a great thing that we just had a network. So we created OneLeaf. We mostly operate out of a Discord channel. However, I'd like to see us get a lot of work done on a website and other open source applications together. So right now we have the GitHub website. We have our own GitHub repo with documentation that we're working on. We have a Twitter and a YouTube. You can go ahead and see the badges right here. Will take you to our Twitter and our YouTube. Obviously, you know about our YouTube because you're currently watching it. We also have a subreddit, r/oneleif. Feel free to check us out. We post all sorts of resources there. The only requirement that you have to join OneLeaf is going to the Discord. When you do join the Discord, let's go ahead and blow this bad boy up. You will start in the Start channel, and that should, if we set up the permissions correctly, that should be the only channel you're allowed to see other than maybe the general ones.
Rules, interest, and introductions you should also be able to see. After that, we want you to read the rules. They're pretty basic. Well, I mean, they're kind of long, so we're going to try to sum them down to 3 main steps, and then the rules are kind of just like what are the channels for, and like just checking out the channels a little bit easier. But mainly, you just need to add like your first name or something to call you by, like more common than your...
For example, the reason we want to do this is because if you happen to change your username in Discord, we would like to know who you are still. So that nickname that you add helps us a lot, making sure that we don't lose track of you.
Yeah, so as long as your username has your name in it or something like that, we can understand like, you know, your name or get closer to you, because we're going to be connected on GitHub or any other open source thing. So at some point, like, we can help LinkedIn or that stuff. We have other things to think about later that we'll talk about. But after that, you check out the interest channel and just react or click on which interest you want. So for these, we have basic interests that unlock these channels down here for development that you can check out and share links or anything related to that, or find out about projects in there.
So for example, for those of you that are new to Discord, typically the reactions aren't there. Somebody has voted for all of them. Zach and I have, so that way you can see them. If you click on them, they'll highlight, and then you'll get access to these channels. If for some reason in the future you don't know how to react, you can up here click the emoji button and go find the emoji that you're looking for. The other thing that we'd like you to sign up for is the interest for the role that you would like to have. The most basic is just the hatchling. You're just a basic member and you're trying to learn. We got caterpillars. You're more of a junior developer that's trying to learn as much as you can and actually get on a project. The butterflies are designers, so anything from 2D, 3D modeling to music to UI and UX. And then the leaves are just regular developers, or anything from lead developers to those that have just been in the professional field for a little while. So pick the one that best suits you. That way we can have some sort of identification for what your idea of a role is in the organization. The next thing that we'd like you to do is have an introduction. That way, if let's say somebody comes in and asks for a question on Python, we can look through the introductions and see, oh, here's all the people that are good at Python. Let's see if we can get you linked up with them. Ooh, okay. We'll come back. We'll come back to that. We'll come back to that.
Windows Phone, though?
So-
Come on.
It's too soon.
All right, we will. So throughout the OneLeaf streams in the future, we're going to bring up just all sorts of random things. The one that we want to talk about today is the new Windows Phone. It just happened to come out. So the channel. Okay, I'm gonna take a step back. Let's go through the rest of the channels before I spout anything else off. So depending on what rank you are in the organization, you'll have access to different channels. The root, branch, and leaf are completely role dependent and will be locked otherwise. So you guys won't even see them. We have our partners channel that shows what Discord partners we have. Ooh, that is unfortunate. We're just gonna glance over that. General talk is more for general talk about the organization as a whole. Not to be confused with chit chat channels like Dev Talk and Random. So Dev Talk is just talking about any sort of development. It could be just about anything. Let's try and keep it somewhat professional and keep the memes out of it. Feedback channel is where you can come to get feedback on your resume, on your website, on your portfolio, just about anything. Twitter PR is where we will be posting tentative posts for Twitter and other PR websites. Streaming is where we will post updates on streams. Other people are free to post their streaming details, but this is definitely where OneLeaf will be posting theirs. YouTube is where we will discuss any sort of YouTube videos that we'll be posting. The streaming and YouTube kind of overlap because when we were streaming in the past, we were using Twitch. But YouTube will remain as is solely because we're going to have separate YouTube videos such as the OneLeaf project showcase that's out there that you'll see on our videos. The 2 learning channels, we have resources and resources discussion. It's very important that we try and keep the chit-chat to a minimum in the resources channel. That way people can find the resources, and if you want to chit-chat about them, put that in the discussion channel. So then we have our work channels. We have direction, which is about the direction of OneLeaf. So for example, you'll see people posting things about suggestions that OneLeaf could do. The voting channel is where we will do any sort of voting on anything that OneLeaf will do. For example, the last vote was for what programming language OneLeaf would use for their website. Or sorry, not programming language, front-end framework.
Yeah.
The meetings channel is where we'll post meetings. Meetings can be either in person or over Discord. Since we have so many members that aren't local anymore, it will probably resort to mostly over Discord. The proposal channel may be a bit ambiguous for a name. However, if you read the channel description, lots of people don't notice the channel descriptions up top, so just in case you weren't aware. The proposals channel is actually for proposing a active project managed by OneLeaf. So if you want members of OneLeaf to help you out, if you want the community managers of OneLeaf to help you plan your project and whatnot, proposals where you put that. If you are just looking for a couple people in OneLeaf to help you, proposal would not be the place. That would probably be feedback. Proposals for specifically active projects with inside OneLeaf.
Yeah.
Anything else to add?
No? That's great.
Okay.
Yeah, there's the last thing I'd add to the proposal is you can follow your own format, or we have our own. If you just check the pinned, you can just kind of check and see some examples. I mean, it's just basically a link to the GitHub, and then just that. It's pretty basic. It's really just to get some people's interest in it and asking questions and private messaging you to join on, become a contributor. So. Other than that, we have brainstorming, which is just...
we haven't used that in a while, actually. We may need to look at filtering that out.
Yeah, if no one uses it, we'll get rid of it, but it's kind of just, if you want to brainstorm ideas...
it seems pretty self-explanatory. It might be collapsed into feedback.
Yeah. We have 100 Days of Code, which is kind of a challenge for some of our new developers, or if you're checking out a new framework or something, you say, hey, I'll do 100 days of that and learn it that way. And every day you share or do like a blog post of what you learned. It's supposed to be small. It's supposed to be really easy to do every day. So it's just kind of a challenge we support.
Yeah, it's kind of just a personal commitment. That's one of the biggest problems I see a lot of developers have is they don't know where to get started, or they spend too much time thinking about a project. It's really just committing to just doing something small every day. So next we have the Tree Voice channel. That will be just an open voice channel for you guys to meet, preferably about the organization itself. I believe, do we have... No, that is the only voice channel we have. So if you feel like voice chatting, feel free to hop in the Tree channel at any time. Okay, then we have our development channels. So all of the ones below help are the ones that you sign up for in the interest page. If you don't sign up for them, you will not be able to see them. The help channel is for any help. It's generalized. If you have a question, for example, about web design or something along those lines, you'd probably keep it either in UXD for user experience design or web. That way it's kind of suited to that channel, so that way if people have similar interests, they can see your questions. All right, the last two groupings we have are for active projects. Currently we have a game that's being made by one of our people, OL Go, which was going to be a website that we were going to make. But
that was the application. We were going to make an iOS app.
That's what it was.
And we're also thinking about maybe making an Android app too, and a website to try to get experience in all the different platforms. So those are also a project. We have a start. We can always restart it. I don't really care, but if anyone's interested in starting the iOS project with me, or starting an Android project, we're definitely looking for that, and front end for the website. So
MVPs still have to be kind of hashed out. So that will be something that we will hopefully have a whole dedicated stream to, and have as many of the OneLeaf members as we can there. That way we can basically write up the documentation together. Another opportunity coming up is the Itch Game Jam. We're hoping to have a small team put together for that. Last two channels are for random. You can put whatever in here as long as it's safe for work. Yeah, try and keep the profanity and whatnot to a minimum. That'd be great. Otherwise, have fun with it. Music channel. It's just a random channel that we like to post music that we like to listen to. Feel free to put your own playlist or whatever in there. Any other things you guys can think of for the OneLeaf Discord? I think that kind of covers it.
I think that's mainly it.
Actually, something I did want to bring up. If you go and click on anybody's name, for example, Zach here, you will see the roles that they hold in OneLeaf as well as all their interests. So if you're looking for a developer to help you out with a specific interest, this may be a good way for you to find them. Alrighty, moving on.
Wow.
Do we want to go to the Windows Phone or do we want to go to the direction ideas?
Good question. Start with the direction idea.
All right,
Let's
okay.
stick with the group first.
We'll just go through it.
Okay, so the direction ideas that we're referring to were in the direction channel. We basically succinctly put all of the ideas that we've had throughout the discussion in the direction channel, and we wanted to revisit them in the stream. Okay, so goal-oriented giveaways. We have 2-leaf T-shirts, but we think it would be cool to hand out stickers or pens or something along those lines.
1 leaf.
Did I say 2-leaf?
Yeah.
Ooh, you guys aren't supposed to know about that. So 1-leaf has we actually have a box of T-shirts that I still have that I should throw up some giveaways for. Maybe we do it for the Hacktober. People get a T-shirt for Hacktober and 1-leaf.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's a
Do one get one. Do one get two.
Did we post about Hacktober? Yeah.
I forget.
We posted it in open source.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Or
So
like
we'll
I
have
shared.
to,
At least, yeah.
we'll have to like continue on it and try to through the month. But
Yeah.
that's really
For
cool.
sure.
Maybe 2 T-shirts then. But yeah, the giveaways would be great. We'd love to get some ideas of what people would like to wear or anything, because we'd love to make more and have some more one swag.
1-leaf swag.
One
Woo.
swag.
So yeah, we have T-shirts, stickers. So we'll probably do a vote or get some feedback on what people want.
Yeah, and if you're watching the stream, feel free to post in the direction channel about any ideas you have for that. The next idea for in direction would be to funnel all the invites through oneleif.com. Currently, we're sending out direct Discord invites to multiple Reddits. In the future, we'd like to be able to funnel people through the 1Leaf website. That way, it gives them a better idea of what 1Leaf does. Has links to everybody's specific portfolios and websites and whatnot, as well as would allow us to get some analytics on where people are coming from.
Yeah, and I think there's a little bit more to the 1Leaf website. I don't know if you want to talk about MVP of kind of what we've kind of focused on, but
We got MVP's coming up soon.
okay. Sorry, I didn't get ahead of it.
Didn't see that, no.
So next one is the Me6 bot, or Me6 from Rick and Morty. Basically, it's a bot that in the start channel currently, it'll send a message in the start channel as soon as somebody joins. Lets them know basically the 3 things that you have to do to get started. However, I feel like it kind of floods the channel and may make people think that whatever's in this channel is a bot. So we'll have it go ahead and try and set up the Me6 bot. That way, it will send you a private message in Discord rather than one in the channel itself. I believe Sarah came up with this idea for an
mentor, mentee, how to
So
make it easier.
we talked about this a little bit today. We're open to feedback on it. Somebody brought up the idea for an Adopt a Noob channel or a buddy system, which I'm not opposed to. But what we thought of today is basically if you want to set this up personally between someone that you found a good relationship with, go ahead. Otherwise, I believe we're just going to try and keep it open. That way, everybody can help anyone. But feel free to definitely reach out with private messages to other people. Assuming that they're okay with it. I'd probably ask them in the 1Leaf Discord first.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, it's supposed to be open, so multiple people can be on a project together, and you can learn from multiple different people, and you don't have to have a mentor. But I mean, obviously, you can find one. I don't know if we should streamline that to make it be looking for a mentor in iOS channel.
Yeah, maybe instead of Adopt a Noob, it's looking for mentor or looking to mentor.
Yeah.
That way you can kind of post for exactly what you're looking for.
Yeah, because I don't know. I think we'll do a poll or get some voting, yes or no, on if we should have it later.
Yeah.
But we'll just let them decide because I'm kind of indifferent.
Alrighty.
That's a good point.
Parshav, you brought up the next one. I'll have you talk about it.
One open source to Git usernames. I guess that's more like GitHub usernames, not Git usernames.
Yeah. Sorry, that was my typo.
Yeah.
I guess that's mainly because if most of the projects we're going to work on and or kind of push for being open source end up being on GitHub, which is I guess the most popular open source platform still. Yeah. We'll probably start asking for GitHub usernames on the introduction-ish area. That way, I don't know, we can all, us as people who kind of look out for the new people, we can always check out their GitHub repos and see what they're up as well. So it's kind of cool to see what the projects people are working on. It's just easier to contact people as well via GitHub and whatnot. So that was pretty much that.
I don't know. I'm just thinking. I'm popping up for an idea. Do we switch the names to just GitHub usernames?
Mine's already that outplayed.
That is not a bad idea. Because your GitHub username's not gonna. The whole reason we had real names was because so your GitHub username doesn't change.
Yeah.
Or so your Discord username doesn't change. My bad.
If you're using GitHub, it's harder to change.
Yeah, but so somebody who doesn't have GitHub uses a different nickname then? Would we be able to differentiate when it's a GitHub?
See,
that's a good point.
That's really
a good point.
So I don't know if we try to extend names and be like parentheses is your name, and then after that brackets is like I don't want to be like that's really annoying.
Yeah.
Maybe we can make a bot when you join it. It like gives you fields and then it'll construct your nickname for you.
Can you put notes or like can you put your own notes?
Can there be like another?
Yeah, can't you add a bio?
Oh yeah, I can put my own note. I don't know if people can view it. Here, look at me. Yeah, see, you can't view it.
What's your note though?
That's because you're logged in here, Zach.
Oh.
That's because I am you.
But it's per computer then. Because I'm logged into me on this computer.
Can I not? I can't touch it.
Weird.
Wait,
right click user for
maybe it's because you're in streamer mode.
Yeah, it might be because I'm in streamer mode.
But okay,
we'll check it out another time.
I don't think we have a good solution for that right now, so we might
But yeah,
if anyone has any feedback on that, please put it in direction. But yeah, moving on.
Okay, I'm gonna skip over the OneLeaf and come back to it because it's gonna take the longest.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, so we're coming up soon. We're gonna do polls for what you're interested in, framework, project. Basically, we're trying to gather teams to do things together. That way, we can get some of the younger guys paired up with some of the lead developers in something that they're both interested in. That way, we can kind of accelerate everyone's learning. So we'll look for polls coming out soon. So we're actually in the process of filing to be a nonprofit. We'd like to see OneLeaf be able to take donations and help people. For example, pay to host the OneLeaf server or pay to get us T-shirts and whatnot, or even host events like meetups and whatnot. If you have any advice on setting up a nonprofit, if you've happened to work with one before, we'll happily take it. Okay, the last and longest thing is going to be the MVP for OneLeaf. For those of you that are unfamiliar with the team, MVP stands for minimum viable product, or the minimum amount of features that the OneLeaf website has to be functional that we would declare it's in a prototyped state. We would like to have a OneLeaf website, a OneLeaf Android, and a OneLeaf iOS app. We did a vote on what framework OneLeaf should use, and it came back with React. So the backend that we started using was Vapor, which is a web framework written in Swift, which is iOS's. I want to say iOS's baby, but it's iOS's main language. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
Sorry, the wordage got me.
baby.
Yeah, I guess.
Dude, come on.
All right, so we're sticking with Vapor solely because Zach has a lot of experience in iOS. I'm slowly becoming more, I always want to say antiquated, more familiar with iOS and Swift. And I really like the language. It's up and coming. I don't feel like it has enough usage currently, so I'm happy to support it. That being said, Vapor is also very fast. It's very easy to work with, and we already have a decent start on it. We're not terribly far, so I wouldn't be completely opposed to scrapping it. But if Zach and I are going to be the ones taking the charge of this, if people do hop on and hop off like happens in an open source project, Zach and I want to be able to keep the back-end progress going along. So as far as oneleif.com goes, here's kind of how we envision it working. We have some notes in the website channel that I'll go ahead and bring up here so you guys can read it while I'm thinking. I believe I pinned the messages. Ooh. There we go. No, wrong one. My bad. Back one. There we go. Okay, so our goal with the website is to get as many developers' experience as we can. So using the idea of subdomains, which, for example, would take a URL like oneleif.com and turn it into, for example, take Zach's username Leaf, it would be leaf.oneleif.com. Whoa, meta, right? So if you guys wanted to, on each of your subdomains, okay, take a step back. A subdomain allows you to have that separate route, but it also basically would allow you to be your own portal to put whatever you want on there. You could have your blog, you could have your portfolio, you could have your resume, you could post your YouTube videos. It's basically your own little website that we set up in a way that is easily created for you. And we can either help you work on the back end and you guys can stick with Vapor, or subdomains allow you to point your code towards a different back end. We're still in the process of testing that, but we'll get up documentation to have it explained really well for you guys to get started.
Yeah. So other than that, for the website, we really want it to have just a general blog that we can have or filter everyone in
and have everyone's blog, or
and then
you can
do
type
like a featured page.
But then also like kind of activity that's happening, maybe like, you know, tweets or that stuff. So maybe like just a general activity. But also for that, it was pretty basic on that. Maybe we'd have, if you'd want to be on there on like the team page, we were kind of still batting that idea around. But we really just need a way to streamline how to join the Discord and how to become, you know, a member of OneLeaf and understand the features, or, you know,
did we?
all the channels that you have and that
Sorry
stuff.
to interrupt. Did we?
No,
Did we deploy the OneLeaf Vapor website to the Vapor Cloud? I forget.
It's in development. I forget.
Yeah, would it be development dot?
It'd be
OneLeaf development dot vapor dot cloud.
Yeah, Vapor. Yeah, I forget.
It's not. It's saved in your URL. Development.com. Redirect me. Damn. All right, I give up. We'll find.
The internet provider.
Yeah, that's what you said. Okay, so we'll run through some of the features for ideas that we already had. So the first one would be the ability for devs to log in and have some sort of UI to manage their pages / domain. So if you log into your landing page, kind of like if you had I don't want to say WordPress because I feel like that's too much for us to accomplish, but like some way for you to be able to just hit like a plus button and it adds a page, and then it's automatically stored in your front end code, and you can come back to it and actually add the code to it itself. I mean, a UI way to do it would be cool, but that's kind of not the point here. We're trying to teach you how to code it yourself. We want you guys to have the ability to store videos for custom content, so that way you guys can post your own YouTube videos or a walkthrough or something. So, for example, one of the other custom contents is Unity, the game development engine, can build to WebGL, which is a web. WebGL is a platform where you can basically have. Man, putting that into words.
That's your topic, man.
It basically allows you to play games on the web. There we go. That's good enough.
That's how hard it was to come up with. Dang.
So the only caveat to working with Vapor is you do have to have a Mac.
Or you run Ubuntu.
Yes.
But then you don't get Xcode, which is the primary editor of Swift. You'd have to use like Vim, or you can use Visual Studio Code. You can use other things like that with plugins, which that works, but
it will make it a little more complicated. If you have your own, if you do want to work on the back end and you have a different device, feel free to ask us for questions and we'll help you set it up.
That's a good point.
We kind of brought up the majority of this.
yeah, I think we
The main site can hold our Twitter, YouTube, and Discord. It already does, so that page will transfer over. It'd be cool to have a way to have some way to easily share large files. I mean, we could just use like Dropbox, but I mean, it'd be cool to be able to share it on your page.
Large files like what though?
Or
Like
you just like download like a zip file. Like if I want to just have like a download page for you to download all my games.
Well, you can do that from releases on GitHub.
Interesting. I mean, I know you can, but like
Yeah.
it would be cool that we could
directly.
Just, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That way, you don't have to go to your GitHub.
Yeah, for sure. Or you could point the
But
the download button will
To the
on
GitHub.
website.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
to the GitHub.
yeah.
yeah.
In the end, we're not doing much.
Alright. Well,
So if I gave just a little example down here of what is it? Control-Shift+.
Control-Shift+.
Control-Shift+. To zoom in. I forget. I was gonna increase the text size, but I can't remember the hotkey. Command-Shift+. I give up. So for example, my what?
There's a command button.
no,
Well, it's Windows,
okay,
but.
okay. Cool.
So for example, my subdomain could be oneleif.ambit.com. I believe subdomains actually prefix instead of postfix, so it would be ambit.oneleif.com. And like the home route, so just oneleif.ambit.com / and then nothing following would just be like kind of my landing page, so it could have navigation to go to the rest of my pages, or kind of like a featured page of my favorite content. And then we could add a route, for example, for blogs, and then a specific route for each blog. So it could be oneleif.ambit.com /blog/1, and that would hold a specific blog. So this basically the URL structure that we generate will help make a filter on the top level domain, so that way we can refer to all the blogs from just oneleif.com, and people could filter down by each user or when it was created and whatnot. I believe that covers the majority of it. I posted a more recent message. Okay, this is just more about the subdomains.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, so that's the majority of the info on the website. We're still kind of in the process of making out an MVP. We will hopefully have some documentation up for you guys. That way, it'll tell you how to get started with Vapor. We'll go ahead and do an initial setup with React and make it or get it working. That way, everybody has a place to start, and then we'll probably set up some tickets in GitHub if people want to hop on those.
Yeah, and then we'll also start up development on the API if you guys want to do iOS or Android. It's pretty much just kind of a viewer for that, so just a table to look over all the new events, like we said, like blogs, tweets, and that stuff for projects, and then kind of viewing profiles, but really just like a nice little app just to view it on your phone or tell people to download really quick. That'll also be the project that you worked on, so it's kind of a 2-for-1.
That, and if you work on any one of these three, it'll look really good on a resume. Because, if somebody says, I'm an iOS developer, and they say, oh yeah, what have you worked on? You say, go download the oneleif app and look at my page. Or, anything along those lines.
Man, I'm actually thinking about it right now. The app, the mobile app, if it so it'll show like all the blogs as well, right?
Yeah.
About people. But then when you open the blog on the phone, is it just the mobile version of the blog, or should we make it so that they can customize the phone version?
Ooh. That's good. I like that.
Does that kind of make sense?
Yeah.
No, Will's saying in direction, if devs need Mac/Ubuntu to work on Vapor, should we rethink the backend to make it more friendly to all developers?
To run the Vapor.
So that's a good question, Will. We've thought of this before, but just taking a step back, and it's like, I guess we're always going to be working on it as our project, so I just feel more comfortable with that. I am open to anyone giving some other backend, but then it's like a further discussion that will push back any development of the website. I mean, let's just go with React right now. I feel like that's great, but if we really want to talk about the backend and changing that, but you really have to like kind of spearhead the development of that with the framework of whatever you choose.
So another factor that contributes to that is that we all have full-time jobs. So working with Vapor is something that we're already somewhat familiar with, so that way it kind of accelerates the timeline here. So if we need to get something done in the back end and then front end is waiting on it to test, Zach and I can go ahead and hop on it super quick. But that being said, we're obviously not completely opposed to using a different back end. Actix from Rust, actually, I was looking at that. It looked super cool. Mm-hmm. One of the reasons that we decided to go with the subdomain structure is if you guys don't like Vapor, you don't want to use it, cool, we'll make you a different subdomain. You can use whatever backend you want, and we'll try and help you out as much as we can.
Yeah. And also, I've even tossed up the idea of AWS Lambdas, just...
Yeah, like serverless architecture.
Yeah. I mean, at that point,
then you could use
also have that
JavaScript.
So I just really want to get us a project going, and then get experience for everything, regardless of,
Yeah, I think it'd be a different story if like there were more... I don't know how many people are interested in doing backend development. That's what I don't think they were polled for.
I've only seen like two or three maybe.
So,
I don't know.
And if it's the 1 and 2 people who are interested in the project, then we could just spin up another subdomain and have some other part of the website for doing web backend.
Yeah. But I expect more work on the front end.
Exactly.
So that's where it seems like a lot more people are interested in the front end.
Yeah. So if more people weren't, basically what I'm saying is more people were interested in the backend at that point, we could just honestly switch out.
And that's kind of the cool part about front end and back end is it doesn't matter. Like front end is kind of as long as you have the same interface, they will play nicely.
Yeah.
So yeah, basically the hardest part about all this is going to be making sure we write a clean and smart interface, making sure the documentation's clear and whatnot. So that way, if anybody wants to make anything that will be kind of on their own, it'll hook up nicely.
Yeah, that was a good. I think someone said that comment of we need to make sure the documentation of all these projects that we do work on. Yeah. Is up to date and is helpful for anyone coming on new.
I believe that actually was terminally Will.
Okay, good. This is
so. I actually don't know enough about classes and hooks. The 2-hour-long video I read just went over classes and components and whatnot. I hadn't got to hooks yet, so that's a great question.
I guess we haven't really discussed project owners, so I guess we kind of are now looking for someone to be a project owner of the front end of the website to kind of answer these questions and make a deciding factor, or at least bringing opinion and kind of leading with it.
We as a community management team have done a lot more back end than front end work. That doesn't mean we don't know how to design user interfaces and whatnot. but for example, we are not familiar with React hardly at all. So some of the decisions that we would make may not be for the best in the long term because we aren't familiar with it. But you know, we could make it work. It would just either take longer or maybe not be the smartest decision looking back. But that's the great part about this is once the back end's done, we can rewrite the front end or use a different framework if people don't like it.
Yeah.
I think that was everything. Oh, no, now we gotta go to the Windows Phone, boys.
Oh, let's check this out.
So they came out with more products than just the phone, by the way.
Yeah. But
what was the conference that they came out with?
I don't know what it's a foldable tablet as well. That's why there's another one.
Okay.
Right, foldable, I guess.
Yeah, the Surface Duo.
Oh. Yep, it is that.
Yes, sir.
Oh, wow.
It is this.
It just looks like a tablet that snaps in half.
It pretty much is.
Yeah, it can rotate 360. I think that's new. Does Samsung do that?
Okay.
Samsung's only opens up like.
Here, look at more pictures of it.
There's a video. I mean, people have touch on hand to this point.
I don't know how I feel about The Verge, to be quite honest.
Remit?
Remit? Alright, we can't hear you, dude. Sorry.
Oh yeah, it's this.
So yeah, you have two different. Yeah.
Two different screens. Yeah.
I like that a lot, actually.
Yeah. See, that's the part I don't mind.
And
I actually kind of I like that.
So you can go all the way back as well. So you have one screen and your hands on the other screen technically. But what makes that good? So that one's like a tablet version of the same, right?
Yeah.
Basically. What makes that nice is that like you're not afraid of like snapping it back and
yeah.
to, like.
Is there something that locks it like halfway though?
I actually don't know.
Because that would be a pain in the ass if you had to hold.
I think
his hands aren't holding it. It doesn't.
Like maybe it's
probably
like
just kind of.
Dude, it would be so cool if there's something in the software to do that. You could just say hit a lock button or something.
Maybe it's like a Mac hinge, right, where it doesn't have to.
Oh, it's just like super tight.
Mm-hmm.
That makes sense.
No,
it looks pretty. See, I like the aesthetics.
Yeah,
I like that
looks
better
like
than trying to make one screen. I don't know if like I guess the screen like can you use one app in both screens then? Like if I want a YouTube video on both, I mean it sucks the middle, but
I think apps would have to be designed that way because you can design for foldable, right? You can create for foldable with two screens. Okay. So maybe the app would have to be like send this video to the other screen if it's playing.
See, everything's a UI split view controller.
Well, if you had like the other ones that are one screen, it's like way harder to have two apps, right? Like that's just kind of weird. Or you have the like line or something. Nice. It comes with a pen.
Their pen is also different.
And it's USB-C.
I think it is USB-C.
Everything Microsoft is USB-C now.
So their pen is actually a little different as well. It's like flattish versus roundish. I was watching MKBHD's video on it. So the pen is like slightly flatter rather than being round as well.
Is that so they can mimic the Apple thing where you can lay it kind of flat and get the pencil effect?
I don't know. I actually have no idea why it's flat. Honestly, I thought it was just like trying to be different.
I don't know.
Okay. Just to make sure we're on the same page here.
Oh.
I hope you were not operating under the assumption that we knew a lot about the Windows Phone. We were kind of looking at it at the same time as you guys and just getting a chit chat about it.
Oh, so is that the bigger one or is that still the phone? I have no idea.
I can't tell, man. That's the camera.
Man, one of the other ones had the camera in the top left corner. Or was that just like a PR mess up?
No, that.
Oh no.
No, it's right above the right side.
Yeah.
Interesting. Man, that keyboard feels like it would be awkward to use though.
That one does. Yeah. Like it was neat when he was putting it.
Sideways.
As the like
a
it's like it looks like a Nintendo DS.
Yeah. Okay. So, I don't know. What do you guys think?
They kept the aesthetic of the Surface.
Yeah, for sure.
So far, I'd say it's my favorite foldable.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with that. I like how when they fold it up, it looks like a notebook. Like
no, like
see,
that.
That's what they did.
That is a mini computer. Like
whoa, wait.
Yeah, you can fold. Okay, so these are showing the other ones there.
Yeah.
That's the Galaxy.
Yeah, see, that's where it's like, I'd rather have two individual functioning screens that.
That was one of my biggest hatreds about a laptop. I mean, sure, you can plug it into a dock and get multiple monitors, but it just feels clunky not to have multiple monitors. I'm so used to it at this point.
Yeah. I wonder what they're saying, but it doesn't really matter.
I don't want to put on the audio because then it'll echo.
I don't want to listen as well.
Well, let's check the stream and see if anybody had any questions. Do you have it open?
Any more questions on it? No, probably.
No, right now.
Yes, you can have a note. What?
He's talking about the Discord note.
Oh, okay.
Dude,
Sorry, I was a little bit behind in the chat.
We're good.
Well, if anybody's watching, any other topics that you'd like us to cover?
Yeah.
That would be nice.
I don't know if anybody's watching.
Hey, at least we are.
Hey, 3 concurrent viewers. We're so good.
2 likes.
There you go.
Okay, now we just have to make sure that when we're done, it automatically makes a YouTube video out of this.
I was like, it's not going to stream us talking about
If it doesn't, we have
plan.
OBS running.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, boys, what do we want to do now?
That's
We're
a
only
good
45
question.
minutes in.
Damn, that's actually pretty good timing.
Yeah, that was
I
good.
wasn't expecting it to go 45 minutes long. I thought it would be like 30 and we'd be done.
Oh well, let's
we
go
have-
through the direction channel. Like you didn't.
Did I miss some stuff?
Some of my new points, I guess. Yeah, yeah, it was my latest one.
Recruiter.
Oh, yeah.
So I guess this is the last thing that we were kind of talking about today. We've been talking about this, and this is just it's not deciding, but like, would we be like we have recruiters in here that are trying to learn code and that stuff, but would we want recruiters to come in here and have a recruiting channel to post jobs that may be available to some of us, or be a good opportunity? So that's one. But then the other one is company outreach. So if we assist companies by giving them an open source product or helping on some of their open source projects, then we can establish kind of a business relationship with that company and maybe get sponsored for more donations to help fund internal projects. But it's just kind of like looking for those and like looking, if you're at a company that has an open source project, maybe kind of pitching it to OneLeaf, or, not pitching, but like letting us work on it, or, help you, and just kind of like those. So
A great example would be, I believe we were talking about it in Dev Talk. Hold on. Christy, I believe you put it actually the most recent, maybe in the introductions. Oh my goodness, I forgot how many people joined recently. Boop. Boop. Did I miss it?
You skipped it.
Alright, we'll just search for it. I thought there was. Is it from? No. Alright, we'll just search for him. I give up.
Wow.
That's it. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. Oh, it's not searching by from. It's searching by actual text. Yeah. There we go. Yeah, there we go. For example, Christy has his own little company running on or going on that works with cryptocurrency. He recommended that he said that he would like to have people help him on it.
I don't think it runs on cryptocurrency.
Or, no, it deals with cryptocurrency. I don't remember exactly. Decentralized Autonomous Corporation. I like the name. It's so beautiful.
Yeah, no, the site's really nice.
Shout out to Christy.
Pretty dope.
Oh yeah, something I forgot to bring up. If you have any content, YouTube videos, blogs, anything that you'd like to post, we could either put it on the OneLeaf website or we could put it on the OneLeaf YouTube channel. It would definitely be kind of a win-win. It would get YouTube more views and it would get you more views.
That was the floor, by the way.
Yeah, let's go with that.
Sound.
Squeak.
Yeah. I don't know. Do you guys have any more topics to discuss? Because
I feel like we went through them all pretty quick. I feel like it was going to take longer.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it's a good time though as well.
Yeah. Any other tech topics to talk about? Anything recent or anything like that?
Dude, I'm super excited about Unity Reflect.
What is that?
What's that?
Unity Reflect is Unity's integration with the AED environment. AED meaning architecture, engineering, and design.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, they're working with Revit, AutoCAD, Google for SketchUp, and they're getting their proprietary formats and automatically integrating them into Unity. So that way you can take your Revit models or your SketchUp models or whatever and put them in VR, AR, or just add them to your game.
That's cool.
Wait. What kind of models?
Like architecture or engineering. Like, you know how they use like CAD software?
Yeah, they use different.
Well, they have their own, usually they have their own proprietary file format. But Unity's working with them so that way you can
integrate it.
either drag and drop it or use like a cloud-based
That's pretty
solution.
awesome. Yeah. So, what's the solution for that right now, though? Is there a solution?
You have to get like a custom parser that will parse the file and create an object out of it.
Damn. Okay.
Which will have to read through like the mesh data and generate a mesh out of it, or geolocation data.
So instead, they're saying they'll work with Unity to make integration.
And one of the other things the other things that plugins don't really do is they don't gather the BIM data, which is kind of like the metadata.
Okay.
So like layers, for example. Like if you want to toggle off the front face of the building, you can put in a layer for that. Or if you want to change, if you want just the countertop in this one building and you want to change that to wood instead of metal, for example. It gives you really fine-grained control over it, or so it appears. It definitely could be marketing fluff, but it looks pretty cool, and Unity has delivered usually.
It's actually pretty awesome.
Nice.
I think it opens up a lot of possibilities to make money off of Unity, especially in the corporate environment.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if you want to give, like, what, like, the next thing we need to add to go with this is photogrammetry software. So that way you can take photogrammetry. It's the study, it's not the study, it's the process of taking pictures of everything, and it stitches them together into a 3D model.
Oh, whoa.
So we can take pictures of Zach's apartment, for example, and then when we're done, you run the software on it, and it would like attach them and give us a 3D model of the thing that we took the pictures of.
So you could, but does it do depth perception?
Yeah, so it does depth by, you just have to take a lot of pictures, and it looks for common elements inside of it.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
Typically, you want to do it in cloudy situations instead of sunny, because if you start taking pictures at 10 a.m. and then it starts, like, the shadows are in a different spot on 4 p.m., then the pixel coloration is messed up. So then it has a harder time detecting depth.
That's actually pretty interesting. So cloud would just keep the same kind of light.
Yeah. It wouldn't keep the exact same lighting, but it would give you less drastic changes in shadows. The shadows would stay more consistent.
Okay, so that would help with the building thingy, or the other thing.
The other thing that it would be useful for, or the only other ways I can see to do it are with, like, one of the 3D cameras. I don't know how the way they work. I haven't used one myself. Or drone footage, like programming a drone to fly like in a direct 360 circle around the building. That would probably give you, like, if you had it at like 60 FPS or whatever, you could probably make software that would pretty quickly, if you just did a 360 degree, somewhat accurate fly around, like, you know, accounting for wind and whatnot. You could probably optimize it, knowing that you're moving around the building on 360 degrees.
Dang.
But I know there's separate software. It's like doing photogrammetry for interiors is completely separate from doing for exteriors.
Interesting.
Because there's a lot. It's concave, not convex usually.
Man, talking about 3D cameras, dude, I saw this video yesterday. They're talking about, like, camera work and animated movies a bit. And so this, I don't know, I didn't know that this camera technique existed before this video. But basically in one movie, like a short animated movie made by a certain director or something from Pixar, I guess.
Pixar, yeah.
Basically what they did is, like, they have, like, the 3D universe made and, like, the scene made. But then to have, like, this realistic camera effect, they would, like, use a real camera and have, like, a green screen. I don't know what it was, like a green screen or something, but basically the real camera would map to, like, the real world in the 3D animation. So, but the director wanted that real movement and stuff, like the shakiness of the camera and whatnot. So the camera, like, the director, I guess, was using the camera by hand, but the movie was like an animated movie, so it gave, like, this realistic movement and whatnot. I was like,
man, why didn't you post that on the resources channel?
I forgot.
You punk.
It was late. It was one of those late night rabbit holes of YouTube. Like, whoa.
I have that happen a lot. It's like 4 a.m. and I'm still reading for whatever reason. It's like, I want to send this to. Everybody's asleep. I'm gonna look like an ass. I'll just bookmark it and come back to it like 4 months later.
Have you guys seen Inside Out?
Yeah, the emotion movie or whatever.
Yeah, the emotion.
I saw. So Pixar has a website dedicated to showing you how that stuff works.
Dude, it's insane.
Watch this.
I didn't know that first, but still.
I found this the other day. I was looking at Pixar's rendering techniques when I was looking into shaders.
It's too good. Some of the ideas behind making Pixar movies.
The science behind Pixar.
Oh my god, they got the best name.
They teamed up with some university or something along those lines. So they show you. Okay. Nope, that doesn't take you to the next one. That takes you to the next one. Are they all videos? I forget. 3D modeling.
Wow.
Rigging.
Oh wow.
Which is super cool to see the inverse kinematics. Yeah. Adding surfaces to the meshes.
Whoa.
They're just setting up the camera. They don't really have, like, fine animations or anything.
Yeah. That is so awesome.
It's just setting up, like, the positions of the player, or the animations in position, not based on bone structure. Then they add in the actual animations to that movement.
Oh wow.
God, this movie was so well made.
Yeah.
Then a simulation, like hair and all that jazz. The soft body physics on her dress, like cloth and whatnot.
Better minor physics stuff.
Yep. Mm-hmm. And you can still see there's like the rendering techniques. Like,
yeah.
The reason it looks so poor is because if they want, like, a full scale rendering, it takes days.
So they just to test it out, they do, like, some light scale rendering.
I mean, hell, I could be wrong, but yeah, that's what it seems like. Now you can see they added in, like, emission to her, so she glows.
As in the movie, right?
What?
I think in the movie also she glows, right?
Yeah.
I forgot.
This is showing you how they made the movie.
Yeah.
Then we go to rendering, and this is where they talk about. Look at this. Each frame took 33 hours to render. So they have this giant farm of supercomputers that just takes, like, you can see the green lady's face isn't pixelated anymore. I believe in the movie it actually it took longer than 33 hours per frame, but like could you imagine if you messed up once?
Yeah, I'm actually curious, like how long the entire movie take to render in terms of real time, not like processing time.
Oh, just hundreds of thousands of hours.
It's just insane.
I want to Google that. Actually, okay. I was reading this article the other day. I wish I saved it off. It was either about this movie or another Pixar movie where I think it was Toy Story, where somebody deleted one of the files and they didn't.
Toy Story.
Yeah, and they didn't have it like backed up.
It is Toy
and
Story.
one of the people that they were mad about working from home.
Yeah.
It was deleted off everybody else's computers, but because he was working from home, he happened to have the file and like saved the whole movie. Otherwise, we're going to have to do like a ton of rework.
I saw that on Reddit.
Wow.
It's like one of those unreal stories, dude.
Yeah, like how do you Git exists for a reason, man. I don't know how Git would work with this.
Yeah, I know.
With like large file storage.
They actually, I think Google made their own implementation, by the way. Read a blog post on it once. But this is pretty neat, by the way. I gotta check this out more.
Yeah, that actually gives you like decent descriptions down at the bottom.
Nice.
And so, like, this is pretty interesting that you brought this up as well, because so there's like a effect that happens on a movie. It's still part of the same camera video I watched, right? So, like, there's this effect. Really, I forgot what the name was, but it's where like there'll be like two objects that are like maybe a distance apart, but the camera has like clear focus on both. But that's like technically not normal, right? You're used to having the back one fade away. So they're talking about that effect and how like you use like a two focal lens, but like divided in half.
You have bifocals on your camera.
Yeah, it actually kind of works like that, or if you use two cameras. I don't think they use two and like compose them usually. But like it does this weird effect where like you can have a really close item and a really far item.
That's
Both
awesome.
Clear, right? Yeah, so they're talking about like why would they do that in Pixar movies and whatnot, and it was interesting because they posted that video on Reddit, and apparently the guy who worked on that part of the movie replied on Reddit, and he was like, the person was like, yeah, I wrote, like, I'm part of the team that made it, and the guy said that like he had to modify the rendering engine on Pixar to actually have that effect work and whatnot. It's like, dang, I wonder what kind of work this guy had to do to just have that bifocal effect happen.
I don't even want to know.
Yeah, insane.
That had to be insane. I've been working with a lot of shaders, and following tutorials is one thing. I can do that, and then I can play with like the parameters at the end.
But then when you have something like that where it's like, okay, I want it to look like this, but then nobody's done that before.
Yeah,
so
I can't.
That's just some next level stuff. I don't know.
And it kind of reminds me of like when I first started programming. Somebody's like, build a calculator, and it's like my brain can't fathom how to break that down into steps. Yeah. So I'm sure like once you get used to it, it makes sense. But like if you ever get to the point where nobody's ever done it before, where do you even start?
That's where your problem solving skills come into play around that time. It's like you see the problem, you got to see how to.
I've had that happen at work a lot. Nobody's ever done the solution? Great. Give me a month of hours and I will come up with something that might work.
Where everybody's done the solution isn't there anymore. Yeah. It's like, this is just code.
Reminds me of that one meme. It was like the SpongeBob meme where like Squidward sits down in his chair and he sits down and he's grumpy about it. And it's like, yeah. It's like the one dude, or you find a YouTube video, you find the only YouTube video for the thing that you're looking for. And then it's like, he's Indian. And then you pick up the chair and walk away.
The same thing sometimes. I'm like,
and then you go back, and then he comes back and sits his chair down and is grumpy. He's like, it's the only video.
It's happened more than once. Or like a Reddit question or something that's like really important, but then the top comment is deleted, even though it's like the most high voted.
You have to go to like removed edited or something like that.
Yeah.
Or one of the web archives.
Web archives if they're lucky enough.
If you're lucky, yeah. If it was in the right snapshot.
Yeah. But this is great stuff as well, man.
Well, boys, time for some vidya.
What do you guys think? Should we end it around here? I think we're good.
We can end it. We can end.
There's no other questions or anything, which I haven't seen any.
Plus, this was like a really good trial run. I'm gonna rewatch this. I guess we'll get back as well, just to check out.
Trial run.
Watch us have no audio the whole time.
Guys. What were we doing?
Oh shit.